Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today and watching this video. The reason I am doing today's video is because I've been receiving quite a lot of DMs from you guys on my art Instagram account asking me questions as a follow-up from my video that I made about me getting my new tattoo apprenticeship. And a lot of you guys are asking me things like, how do you get into tattooing? What consists of a tattoo apprenticeship? I really like drawing. Should I go to art school or should I do an apprenticeship? And as much as I enjoy giving you guys advice and helping you out on that, it can get quite frustrating when I spend a lot of time thinking about an answer to someone's question and giving them the best advice possible, and then I get like 3 more of the exact same question, so it can be quite frustrating. So I thought that I would just do a video about it, and hopefully all of you guys who want some more information on things like that can just watch this video and hopefully it will answer some of your questions. I'm really going to try and make this video not be really long, but there is quite a lot to cover. First of all, I'm just going to tell you guys how I came to a place where I decided that I was going to pursue a tattoo apprenticeship, and how I found myself as an artist, and school, how much did I find school helpful. Yeah, hopefully you guys can apply some of that knowledge to your own lives, and then I'll give you guys some information on actual tattoo apprenticeships and just some overall advice on that. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this video. So first of all, as I said, I'm just gonna tell you guys how I came to the place where I decided that I wanted to be a tattoo apprentice. Basically, I've been wanting to do tattooing since I was about 15, meaning that when I was 15 was when I got the idea of, ding, maybe this could be something that I could do. I was always really into art at school. Art has always been, if not my favorite subject, definitely in my top 3. I always did really well at school in art. You see this painting here? That was actually my A-level art piece. When I was 17, when I was in year 12, I actually made the decision to not return to sixth form for year 13, so I did make the decision to drop out of school. I found school really difficult. I fucking hated school, if I'm honest. It really affected my mental health. I really struggled just in so many different ways, and I made the personal choice to not go back. And I just kind of felt like I was at an age where I wanted to find myself, gain some actual life experience, and I felt like this never-ending conveyor belt of school, you know, where you go to secondary school and then sixth form, then uni, then you get a job. I really wanted to jump off this conveyor belt and figure it out myself so that it was on my own terms. I didn't want to put my back on education in general. I just needed it to be on my own terms and for the right reasons. So luckily my parents were very supportive of my decision to drop out. I got a job at a restaurant, hung out with a lot of older people, continued drawing and doing art, and then I did make the decision to go to art college and do a year foundation course in fine art. I got a place at quite a good art school, which I was really proud of, and I lasted 2 months before I dropped out, which, yeah, it works for some people and it doesn't work for other people, but I'm not trying to say that it's cool to like drop out of education, because it's definitely not. It just was what I felt was authentically me at the time. So the reason I dropped out of art school was because I've always been really guarded and really protective over my art and my style, and I've always really resented other people telling me what I should and shouldn't draw and what kind of creative directions I should be going in, because I feel like I need someone to teach me how to draw so that I can decide where I want to take it, instead of teachers just telling me that I should be going in this direction, which was a lot of what art school was for me. You know, there's a lot of like, we're doing a project called this and you need to do this one specific thing, and I basically just found myself in a lot of willpower battles with the teachers where I was like, I want to do this, and they were like, no, you have to do this. And I kind of just ultimately came to the point where I was like, this is not helping my art at all. I'm not growing. I'm just having constant battles with the teachers about what I should and shouldn't be doing. I don't think that they know what's best for me over me. I just found that a lot of my passion for art was being taken out, because I had a very clear idea on what kind of art I wanted to do. I wanted help on actually how to draw, like tell me how to be better at what I want to do instead of telling me that I should be doing something else. So ultimately, it just really wasn't the best place for me to be. So I did make the decision to leave. I stopped drawing and stopped doing art for about a year, which is probably the longest I've ever gone in my whole life. I've been drawing since the day I could hold a pencil. When I was a kid, I was just constantly, and when I say constantly, I mean like the way I express myself is visually. That's always been me, and I managed to keep up this pattern of just constantly drawing pretty much all through my entire life. It's always been a really massive part of my life. So far, education hadn't taught me anything about art, really. Education for me made art less about self-expression and more about making other people happy. And like I said, every single person is different, so this might not work for you, but this is just what has been my experience. After losing a lot of love that I had for my art, I did some life drawing classes, and I spent a couple years doing like portrait painting class, still life classes, and some quite technical every week evening classes. These are what I think elevated my learning a lot. I was so relieved to get some actual proper, this is how you draw a hand, this is how you draw an eye. Through doing a lot of these classes, it became clear to me what I enjoyed drawing and what I didn't enjoy drawing, what I was good at and what I wasn't good at. Drawing a face over and 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 over again, you as an artist does eventually emerge. That is the best way to learn technical skill, I think, and also learn your own style, because everyone has their own style, and the more you draw, it kind of accidentally comes out, you know? It's a very natural thing, so you just need to practice, and eventually you will find yourself. So after that, I did a lot of traveling and I worked for a couple more years, and as I was experiencing new connections and learning new things, my art elevated. I actually volunteered at an elephant sanctuary for a month, and this place was amazing. One of the most life-changing experiences ever. Taught me so much about myself, it got me into animals. Obviously I was into animals before, but it got me really into wanting to help animals, which is why I ended up getting all my rats and all of that. It was 10-hour working days, 6 days a week for a month in the boiling hot sun. So it was working, it was, you know, like shoveling poo, clearing rocks out of enclosures. It was a beautiful experience, and I would never ever trade it up for anything. Basically what I'm trying to say with this is finding yourself as an artist is very much about finding yourself. My biggest advice would be, if you're trying to get a tattoo apprenticeship, first what you need to do is find yourself as an artist, and to do that you need to do a lot of life learning. When I came back, I continued to draw. I got another job at a bar, and I actually did a bunch of freelance stuff and just carried on drawing alongside all of this, and created a little bit of a name for myself and just elevated my skill level, elevated my interest, branched out. I bought a graphics tablet and just spent hours upon hours in my room just creating. Eventually I got very sick of working bar jobs and did quit. I'd known by this point that I wanted to be an artist. I needed to take my art to the level that I knew that I was capable of, and I quit my job. And basically, and then obviously lockdown happened, and over the course of the lockdown in 2020, I put my portfolio together, eventually got hired at the place that I am at now. And so that is basically the journey on how I, starting from when I was 15, how I reached the point that this was what I wanted to do. My best advice is to live your life first. I did get a bunch of people ask me about, should I go to art school or should I do an apprenticeship? I really love drawing. I've always been really into drawing and doing art, but where should I take this? And that is the age-old question with art. That is something that I have always really has boggled my mind. How do I actually get money from this? There's so many different things you could do. You could do freelance, you could do illustration, you could do painting, you could do animation, you could do tattooing. The list goes on, right? And it's kind of a bit of a landmine. Like, you don't really know which way you should actually focus on. Like, how are you supposed to know that? And basically the answer to that is, if you don't know what is the right direction, you haven't developed yourself enough. There is a lot to be said for spending a year drawing in your bedroom. Art school is not going anywhere. Apprenticeships is not going anywhere. Go traveling, find out who you are, work, gain some life experience. And as you grow as a human, your art will develop. Say you're torn between art school or tattooing. If you spend a year in your room just drawing, maybe even buy a graphics tablet, do whatever it is you want to do some experimenting, and just spend a year working on yourself, working on your projects, do some art classes. After that year, you will be in a much better position to figure out where you want to take it. You'll even know way better what you're good at, what you'll be better at doing, where the world could be using your skill, you know? And ultimately, you'll be better at the thing that you choose to do. You'll be more successful in art school. You'll be more successful in your tattoo apprenticeship. I feel like there is a lot of pressure on young people these days to utilize every single second you have, you know? Like, schools are constantly telling you, if you don't pass this exam, then you're not going to get a job and you're not going to get hired, and then you're going to be old and you're going to be alone. When in reality, like, it's a really mature thing to do, to allow yourself time to become yourself before you decide what you want to do with the rest of your life. And that takes time, that takes a lot of patience. Some other things I want to say as well about tattoo apprenticeships is, I do find that it attracts quite a lot of people who are like, I like to draw, or I really enjoy art and stuff. And I think a lot of people do tend to think that apprenticeships are kind of an easy option. It is an industry that attracts a lot of very young people, as it did me when I was 15, you know? I can't say that I'm any different than anyone else. I wouldn't have been able to do it at 18. I wouldn't have been able to do it at 20, you know? There was a reason why it took as long as it did for me to get to the place. And if it even takes you to your 30s before you even develop yourself, that's okay, because that is the right time for you. Art shouldn't be rushed. You don't just get a tattoo apprenticeship, then within a year you're like the best tattooist ever. No, it takes so much work and is a really skill-based craft. It's not an easy thing to do. It's hard. It's very hard to learn. I personally would say it was harder than art school, seeing as I've been to art school. It's harder. It's harder. It's a very, very tough industry as well. You need to have a lot of backbone. You need to be very confident and very self-assured, and you need to be confident in your art. You need to know that you can do it. If your boss is like putting you down, or because you're at the bottom of the pile, people aren't treating you right, you need to know, I'm here because I'm sick. I'm here because I deserve it. I'm here because I've worked fucking hard for this, you know? Building up that level of confidence takes a very long time. This is a very important one. Get really good. Before you try and do the apprenticeship, get fucking sick at drawing. Just draw, and the way you do that is drawing every day. I try and draw every single day. I've been a little bit out of it because lockdown is a bit sluggish, but just draw every single day. Set yourself daily challenges where you draw like a new thing every single day. Join a couple drawing classes and just bang out a body of work and just keep going at it. There is always massive room for improvement, and just get yourself to a level where you're just so confident and you're ready to take on this step. You know for sure that that is what you want to do and this is where you want to go. If you're not quite sure about it, it's probably not the right thing for you. And also allow room for mistakes as well. If during that year where you just spend in your room drawing and elevating your style and your ability, you actually think, I actually prefer painting to drawing portraits, or I actually prefer digital stuff to something else. I actually want to go into fine art, or I want to go into animation. You never would have figured that out if you haven't taken the time to put into all of this stuff. I have had quite a lot of DMs asking me about tattoo apprenticeships and what they really consist of and how is mine and stuff. The best way I can really answer that is that pretty much every single apprenticeship will be different. Some are very strict, some are really loose, some are a bit backstreet, not very official, some are kind of more like school, and it basically just depends on where you get hired. I can't tell you that what you'll be doing is making coffee or that you'll be tattooing within a year, because everyone's apprenticeship is very, very different. And another bit of advice I do want to give you guys as well on apprenticeships is some really good advice that I got given prior to me getting my apprenticeship, and that is, if it's not the right shop, if you're not in the right place or surrounded by the right people and you're not happy with how you're being treated, just leave. Apprenticeships are working in tight groups, obviously in a shop, and you have to get on with the shop owner and the people around you. Otherwise, it's just going to be a very, very unpleasant place to be for you and for the people around you. Tattoo apprenticeships are quite notorious for being very tough and being very, how do I put this? There does seem to be a certain culture of apprentices being at the bottom, getting kind of treated badly by the people above them. That's not every single apprenticeship. Mine is like kind of in the middle. I haven't really figured it out yet. Some people get treated amazingly. It just depends on the individual shop. You don't have to stay if it's not working out. There are other apprenticeships, you know. You need to be very flexible. You also need to have a backbone to be able to deal with what might come your way. But if it's not working out, just leave. Most apprenticeships are unpaid, so there's no expectation that you have to go above and beyond to stay somewhere that aren't treating you properly. Don't feel trapped if it's not working out. There's other places. So yeah, I really hope that that answered most of your questions. If you guys have any more questions, please comment down below and let me know if you guys have anything else that you want me to talk about. I really hope that this helped you guys out. I'm not sure if it did, but I guess time will tell. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please hit the like button if you found this video useful. Subscribe to my channel as well. I put new videos out every week. Yeah, that is basically it from me today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.